I think all of us can relate to having a calling in life, having something that we feel we're meant to do or even made to do. Some of us shy away from our calling for fear that it isn't practical. Others of us follow our intuition. This dance is the force that has guided me through adventure after adventure and has given me the courage to go after my dreams and live my life fully. With each step, I hear the echoes of my Greek ancestors dancing, and I imagine I can see my father, who I never had the chance to know. Dancing is my way of connecting with him. My name is Kalilah Scopelitis. I'm a dancer, and this is the story of my journey and a glimpse into the world of the talented musicians that I perform with. I've been dancing since 1999. When I found belly dance, I was immediately impacted by how beautiful I thought it was and how eerily familiar it was to me, being that I had never seen belly dance before. I definitely felt an instant sort of instinctual connection to this form of dance. I believe my Greek heritage had a lot to do with that because the Greeks belly danced too. I studied for about 4 months, and within 4 months I was performing professionally. I would say predominantly I'm definitely influenced by the Egyptian style, for sure. The thing that I love the most about Egyptian style is really the soul. Lovely sort of pull between being proud and strong and just being light and happy and having fun and just being with people and enjoying people's company and making them happy. I like that sort of juxtaposition between the two things in that style, and you can see a range in one performance. That's my favorite. When I look at that, I feel like, like that's it. Traveling abroad had a big impact on my dance career. So actually the first time that I went to Europe was when I was 15. I flew into Paris. There was a music festival going on. I found this gypsy band and just had this amazing experience where, they didn't mind that I was dancing with them. That was the first experience that I had dancing abroad. I felt so free, and that was just a moment for me where I was like, I really got to get back here. I want to spend a significant amount of time in Europe. I want to travel around, and I want to perform. And as soon as I got my diploma, I was like, I had my plane ticket and I was ready to go. So I moved to Sevilla, to the south of Spain. I really got to take an adventure. I traveled throughout Europe and North Africa, and while I was living abroad, most of my work was in southern Spain, but I also received performance opportunities in other parts of Europe. After 5 years abroad, I moved back to the United States, and I was invited to perform at venues such as Carnegie Mellon's Doctoral Research University in Georgia, the University of Pennsylvania Museum of Archaeology and Anthropology, World Cafe Live, the Franklin Institute, and Grounds for Sculpture Museum. I continued my career as a soloist, and I reconnected with some of the musicians that I had been performing with before I moved to Spain. Live music is a very important element in the show to me. I've been making my own costumes since 1999. For the entirety of my life, I've had a passion for designing and for making things by hand. So when I started performing, it was natural that my costumes would be a product of my own creativity and workmanship. I source authentic silks, fresh water pearls, crystals, velvets, and antique accents. And in many cases, I dye my own fabric so that when I perform, the audience gets to see a one-of-a-kind work of art. One of my earliest inspirations was my grandmother. She and my grandfather were both competitive ballroom dancers. I have these very clear images of seeing her and my grandfather dance. Through her, I realized the powerful impact a costume can have on a performance. Each costume I make takes me around 3 months to create. They're highly detailed, and the materials are of superior quality compared to anything that can be purchased in a store. Today, much of my inspiration is drawn from nature and from the classical golden era when Hollywood glamour started to mix with the traditional Bedouin garb during the 1930s. I have a lot of images that I reference when I go to make a costume. I've got pages and pages of references in these books that are about Middle Eastern dance and about the history and about the different styles between different cultures. So I'll take those things and I'll mix them. And that's what I'll create when I sketch. I'll take all of the different pieces of it that I like, and then I'll draw it out, and I'll see how I like all of those different elements combined into one costume. All of this combined creates a look that adds tremendous value to the show. Presenting an ensemble that is inspired, creative, and polished is as important as training every day. It's absolutely essential. Vivienne Westwood said, "Fashion is very important. It is life-enhancing, and like everything that gives pleasure, it's worth doing well." Live music is the energy and the spiritual force of the show. The musicians I work with are among the most talented Middle Eastern artists in the world. They have achieved international acclaim and are incredibly versatile in the range of music that they play. I've been dancing with a few of them for as long as 17 years. Rashid Halihal is from Morocco. He's an incredible violinist, vocalist, and oudist. He used to perform with the Andalus Orchestra and toured internationally for years. He's one of the most charismatic people I have ever had the pleasure of knowing. Paul Mueller is a hammered dulcimer player and percussionist. He's produced 8 records and has created soundtracks for Spike Lee films, PBS, and HBO. He is a man who has dedicated himself to music. William Tayoun is a Lebanese pianist and composer. He plays a vital role in bringing our sound together as a group and has written some of the most beautiful melodies I've ever heard. The Tayoun family is credited with creating a major buzz around Middle Eastern music and dance in the 1960s and 70s through the establishment of a restaurant called The Middle East in Philadelphia, Pennsylvania. Chris Marashlian is an Armenian bass player. He's the soul of the music. Over the last 45 years, he's produced 33 albums and 4 records, which have yielded some of the most moving Greek and Armenian songs out there to date. Roger Merdishian is a second-generation Armenian oudist. He's the nephew of one of the most famous oudists in the world, George Merdishian. He performs in diverse styles of Middle Eastern music, covering Greek, Turkish, Bulgarian, Lebanese, Syrian, Egyptian, Persian, and Armenian genres. Mohammed Nabawi is a renowned accordionist from Egypt. He grew up playing on the iconic Muhammad Ali Street in Cairo. Nabawi has played with some of the greatest dancers of our time, like Samia Gamal, Zuhair Zeki, and Lucy. He's a master of Egyptian classics and ballady. When Nabawi plays the ballady, it brings an instant smile to my soul. The ballady is a very important dance in Egypt. Balad means country, ballady, the dance of their country. Marshall Bodeker is an international tabla star who is constantly touring the globe. He's been featured in instructional DVDs through World Dance New York. Saeed Fahmy is an accomplished percussionist from Alexandria, Egypt. He's an expert in playing tabla, duf, zagat, and rik, and has been performing for over 35 years. One of the things I love the most about Saeed is that he's constantly suggesting ways to bring an authentic experience to our audience. Joseph Tayoun is a Lebanese percussionist. His passion is teaching youth in the Philadelphia community and enriching lives through music.
Arrange these in various patterns, you can create hundreds of rhythms, which we do in Egypt. Basically,
Joseph also holds regular classes at the University of Pennsylvania's Museum of Archaeology and Anthropology. His energy and enthusiasm are unmatched. Together we form an ensemble of artists who have decades of experience performing at the highest level. We're excited to bring a performance of this caliber to each audience, because it is our connection with each audience that inspires us to continue to do what we love every day.